Memorial Day weekend was a very violent one in Baltimore City. At least 6 people killed and several others hurt in a number of shootings. One of the injured, a 17-year-old girl, shot in the head this evening on Dennison Street in southwest Baltimore.
You sisters be getting whacked, bro. God, dog. Woo! Man, I mean, and I know I heard someone in the comment section say, the real issue is the black. Listen, the brothers is out there. You listen to the rap songs, you see them on YouTube, you see them on TikTok, Twitter, they toting guns, Instagram, they gang banging, they toting guns, they selling drugs, they living the street life, they being Goonies. And yes, I focus on the ones who are innocent bystanders or upstanding people in the community, doctors, preachers, and such, businessmen that get whacked out. So don't even go there. I'm the only channel that focuses on those people. But yeah, it's a lot of brothers out there that's out here banging. A lot of these sisters is just going about their everyday business and getting shot because they live in the black community. If they didn't live in the black community, if they pulled the Patrice colors and got their butts up out of the black community by any means necessary, by hook or by crook, this wouldn't happen to them.
At least 6 people killed and several others hurt in a number of shootings. One of the injured, a 17-year-old girl, shot in the head this evening on Dennison Street in southwest Baltimore. Tonight, she's in critical condition. WMAR2 News' Abby Isaac joins us from Baltimore Police Headquarters with more on what community organizers are doing to stem the violence.
Baltimore police are investigating this weekend's shootings that span all across the city, from the southeast to the northwest, as community members work to help the people impacted by gun violence.
They cannot imagine the pain that we feel when they take our loved ones' lives.
Lisa Moloch is part of a growing group that knows firsthand how devastating it is to lose a loved one to gun violence.
We don't get over it, that we just learn to live with it.
After this weekend, more Baltimore families are going through this pain. Since Friday, at least 6 people have been murdered and 5 others were shot in Baltimore City. The ages of the victims range from 21 to 61.
From 21 to 61. Okay? Wow. Like I told you, that's why I cover all these people, not just the thugs and the criminals. But certain groups of these people, like elderly people, don't get shot like that in other communities unless it's by someone from our community. Grandmas don't be getting gunned down in the street in a hail of bullets. Don't be happening by somebody they never seen before. Grandmas do not get gunned down in a hail of bullets by somebody they've never seen before on the regular in other communities. It don't happen. Granddads, it don't happen.
In separate incidents, 2 men were shot while in their cars. Multiple times, police were alerted to the shootings because of ShotSpotter. And in 3 cases, the victims were shot in the head. As Baltimore police investigate, community members are coming together to create change. Saturday, they were out at the Healing Garden in Harlem Park, tying ribbons in honor of people who have lost their lives, like Donaya Burgess's sister.
When we come here, it's like, it just feels like they're still with us.
It was hosted by Moms Demand Action and Let's Thrive Baltimore, founded by Moloch to help children impacted by gun violence.
We work with youth to divert them away from crime. We provide therapy for them, healing spaces and safe spaces for them to talk about what they're going through.
There go another one of them groups. Moms Demand Action. And I gave you guys the assignment last week. Send me a white town where they have a group like this. because so many of the kids are being shot down in the street. Somebody mentioned MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Yeah, and that group changed the world. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Got a lot of laws changed. Put out a lot of awareness about teen drunk driving, because a lot of kids in the 80s, white kids, were drinking and driving and killing themselves and killing other people. So yeah, they did MAD. But there are thousands of organizations like this all across the country. This one for black mothers whose kids are being murdered in the streets. And it hasn't changed a damn thing. However, send me one of a group of white mothers in a community where their sons are being killed, and they formed a coalition, a group to support each other and to, just come together, commune, and help each other through the struggle of having a kid killed by gun violence. Show me that.
We work with them on conflict resolution.
It kind of helps me a lot. Like, everything that we do, it helps. I could come here and just read stuff and think about, like, see pictures and stuff, just think about people.
They have more events coming up, as next Friday is National Gun Violence Awareness Day. If you have any information about this weekend's shootings, you're asked to call Baltimore Police or Metro Crime Stoppers at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP to remain anonymous. You can also text a tip through Metro Crime Stoppers of Maryland's website. At Baltimore Police Headquarters, Abby Isaacs, WMAR2 News.
All right.
Well, this latest incident happened late last night, and police say that 3 men are dead following a shooting on Spalding Avenue in the Park Heights neighborhood. 2 of those men died at the scene. The other one was taken to the hospital, where he later died. During a press conference at the scene last night, Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said that the victims appeared to have been in a gun battle that spanned 3 city blocks, with people shooting at each other. What's even more troubling is that this is one of the areas that officers were patrolling while working overtime this holiday weekend.
Okay, a lot to unpack here. We're going to do it very quickly. This is one of the areas where officers were patrolling. If you not familiar with Baltimore, they knew this was coming. They knew they would have a bloody, deadly weekend in the black community. So they did everything in their power to try to stop it. Police overtime. All the overtime you can get. Police are people. They have child support. They have bills. They want to go on vacations. They have kids in private school. Overtime is a big thing for police. There's always a scandal in every city where police are stealing overtime. This weekend, all the overtime you want. In fact, mandatory overtime. You have to work overtime. 12-hour shifts, round the clock coverage in certain neighborhoods. We're going to have these neighborhoods that are crime trouble spots. Police swarming, teaming with police. In one of those neighborhoods where the police were, it was crawling with police, like the cicadas. If you live on the East Coast, you know that the cicadas are out. They're everywhere. The police were literally like cicadas in Baltimore in certain neighborhoods this weekend. It's like this neighborhood, Spalding Avenue. And there was still a gun battle that lasted 3 city blocks. Hundreds of shell casings. 3 black men dead on the scene. There's nothing that can be done about this stuff, man. Okay? And then just think about, thank God they didn't kill nobody else. You're having a gun shootout for 3 blocks through a residential area?
Tonight, Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said that the victims appeared to have been in a gun battle that spanned 3 city blocks, with people shooting at each other. What's even more troubling is that this is one of the areas that officers were patrolling while working overtime this holiday weekend.
It just shows the brazenness of today's criminal element in people wanting to enact their violence against other people.
Black police chief, black mayor, black city council.
Enact their violence against other people. even when other people are out and they're putting other people in harm's way. That's why it's so important for community members who know what happened to get the information to us as quickly as possible so we can find who did this and hold them accountable.
Now, earlier on Sunday night, a 17-year-old girl was shot on North Dennison Street in West Baltimore in what appears to be a domestic incident. At last check, she was in critical condition. And earlier on Sunday morning, police found a man dead on West Mulberry Street after being shot multiple times. There were at least 5 more shootings in the city on Friday and Saturday. Investigations continue throughout the city as police search for clues, and they're asking for the public's help to find these suspects. Reporting live downtown outside police headquarters, Theo Hayes, WBAL TV 11 News.
The shooting was part of what has been a deadly and violent Memorial Day weekend here in the city of Houston. A total of 10 homicides and 9 scenes since Friday, all shown in the map you see here. KPRC2 investigator Mario Diaz has been tracking the rise in homicides in Houston this year and is live in Midtown where another homicide case happened overnight. Mario?
Christine, it happened right here behind me at Clay, the nightclub. If you can see right over here by the trash there, you can still see remnants of the crime scene tape that is out here. Signs that violence took place not only here, but violence has taken place all around the city this weekend.
We've had a very violent weekend, Memorial Day weekend.
Black mayor, black police chief. Diverse, but mostly black. A lot completely liberal.
We've had a very violent weekend, Memorial Day weekend.
Police lights and crime scene tape decorating several locations around Houston this holiday weekend. A total of 10 homicides since Friday afternoon.
Frightening as hell.
Tamara Bell is the chair of public safety for the Super Neighborhood Alliance.
This weekend sets the tone for summer. That is scary.
Scary, especially for the large crowd at Club Clee at 121 this morning.
We have 2 males dead inside.
An off-duty Harris County Sheriff's deputy working security, firing at a man who HPD Chief Troy Finner says was firing towards the crowd.
The deputy did discharge. He did strike at least 1 male, but there were several individuals possibly inside that club shooting.
On Friday, the city sat at 178 homicides for 2021, a 27% increase from 2020, with 10 more so far this weekend. The total is on the brink of 190. Houston City Council member Mike Knox is the vice chair of the committee focused on public safety and a former member of HPD.
It's not going to get better anytime soon.
Well, damn. Well, damn. Jeez. Wow. And I believe him. It's just like, damn.
It's not going to get better anytime soon.
And that is what's concerning for so many when you see scenes like this, crime scene tape just hanging out on the corner. Knox looks at the crime reform issue and the fact, the bail reform issue and the fact that it wasn't reformed in Austin in the 11th hour last night as one of the key reasons as to why we're seeing this spike in our area. As for this investigation, what's going to be key here are going to be those cameras up there. Investigators examining, pulling that evidence to see exactly what took place here at this club shooting last night. Live in downtown Mardias, KPRC2 News.
We had a very active weekend. Very active weekend. We start by saying that. We had as many as 12 incidents over the weekend, shooting incidents. 3 resulted in fatalities.
Black police chief, black mayor, black city council. Starting to notice a pattern here, man. Huh? 2 things. Man, I do not want to hear nothing. If anybody gets in this comment section, mods, it talks about black people they're disenfranchised, they're disconnected from the political system, they don't have any power, no opportunities. Yeah, okay, it might be only 2 coaches in the NFL that's black. It may not be a lot of black Division I college basketball coaches. But when it comes to mayors, state representatives. At the local level, y'all completely run the show. Everywhere we go.
Police Chief Sean Ferguson there describing the Memorial Day weekend in New Orleans as active and violent.
This after 12 shootings that left at least 5 people dead, including a 12-year-old girl in the New Orleans area alone.
And now we are finding out more information on that shooting. WDSU News reporter Shay O'Connor joins us live from NOPD headquarters with details on what happened that night and the latest on the investigation. Shay?
Stella and Gina, that's right. Now, the chief says that shooting happened Sunday night around 10:30 in the Holy Cross neighborhood during a graduation party. That's where we're told that 12-year-old was actually shot. She later died at a hospital. Now, those who live in the area, they tell me that they're still pretty shaken up after hearing gunfire along their street.
It sounded like nonstop. It was like bam, 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 like pretty scary.
Samantha is 12 years old. She lives 2 houses down from where another 12-year-old was shot and killed during a graduation party along Delaware Street. 2 other teens ages 18 and 19 also hit. Samantha says she heard the music before it all happened. She did not know the girl, but is sad to hear the news.
Such a young age, someone died right here like me. It's like kind of heartbroken.
And Samantha isn't the only neighbor in shock. One woman who did not want to be shown on camera says she witnessed the young girl's body being carried inside of the house following the shooting. Neighbors say the home where it happened is a known Airbnb.
For a minute, I was going to say that this was some Latinos, man. But now that they saying it's an Airbnb, you know who that was. You know who that was. You know who the king of Airbnb violence is.
It's never been no violent area. It's always been a peaceful area. Everybody around here knew each other. What happened to that young lady, man, it was so tragic, and yet nobody's being held accountable.
Monday, during a press conference, Chief Sean Ferguson addressed the shootings, urging anyone with information to come forward.
We need the criminal justice system to do their part, but we also need the community to do their part. And when I say do their part, if you see something, say something.
People who live in the area say they just want to see the crime solved. They say too many young lives are being taken away by violence.
It's more important to have a second line in a T-shirt than to have a prevention, an intervention, or whatever you want to call it. That's most important to them. The second lines in the T-shirts, that's what's killing us, man. It's more important to have a second line in a T-shirt than to have a prevention, an intervention, or whatever you want to call it. That's most important to them. The second lines in the T-shirts, that's what's killing us, man.
The chief says at this time they do not know where the 12-year-old was from, if she was actually a resident of New Orleans or if she was from somewhere else. They're still working to find out more information. But in the meantime, if you do have info on this shooting or any of the shootings that happened over the weekend, you're being urged to contact Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. For now, reporting live from Mid-City, Shay O'Connor, WDSU.
Weekend violence in New Orleans has led to at least 3 fatal shootings since Saturday night, with nearly a dozen separate shootings since Friday and a child among the victims killed. The most recent shots were fired near the Old Navy Support Facility on Poland Avenue. Police say a man was taken to the hospital after he was shot there just before 11 this morning. Duke Carter takes us through some of the other recent cases the NOPD is investigating, with new help coming by way of Louisiana State Police.
Family members are grieving the loss of life of a preteen here in the lower 9th Ward. According to police, a 12-year-old girl died in a shooting near the intersection of Delaware and Douglas. Now, according to police, this happened around 10:30 last night. Officers responded to a call of aggravated battery by shooting at that location. And when officers arrived, that's where they found the preteen, the girl, with a gunshot wound. The 12-year-old was taken to the hospital and later died from her injuries. Police later learned there are 2 actual other victims victims involved in this incident. First, there's a 19-year-old man who was taken to the hospital privately, and we're told by police he is in critical condition. The second person, unknown at this time, arrived at the hospital in St. Bernard Parish. His condition, that person's condition, unknown. Now, a little bit after 11 p.m., NOPD began investigating a shooting that happened at the intersection of Avalon Way and Curran Boulevard. Police say there's a female victim involved with that case. She's been taken to the hospital via EMS, and no further information available at the time, according to police. Now, 2 minutes later, police investigated another shooting that happened near the intersection of Dowman Road and Ogentilly Road. The male victim had a gunshot wound and arrived at the hospital privately. Earlier this morning at around 1:21, police investigated a shooting that happened in the 2000 block of Mirabeau. According to police, there is a female victim with a gunshot wound. That lady was taken to the hospital via EMS. No further information available.
How many of y'all doubt the race of that woman that got shot? How many of y'all think that woman who got shot in the streets is any other race but Wakanda?
According to police, there is a female victim with a gunshot wound. That lady was taken to the hospital via EMS. No further information available on that incident. Then 10 minutes later, at around 1:31 this morning, NOPD began investigating another shooting at an undetermined location after the victim arrived at the hospital privately with a gunshot wound to the lower part of their body. Now, we caught up with people who live in the neighborhood of where the shooting took place around 10:30 last night near Delaware and Douglas. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Well, we were barbecuing and heard a bunch of, sounds like fireworks, gunshots is what it's, ended up being. And then maybe 20 minutes later, a bunch of lights were in the area, and so it was obvious that police or paramedics showed up. And now I've been told that the person, 12-year-old girl had deceased, and it's a shame.
Recently, NOPD and state police have teamed up to reduce crime not only in the quarter but in the city as well. It's part of an operation called Golden Eagle, and it comes at a time when police have seen an increase in murders, non-fatal shootings, and carjackings. Now, unlike in the past when troopers mainly patrolled the French Quarter and secured big events, this new operation will place troopers where they're needed, like the situation here in the lower 9th Ward near Delaware and Douglas, where a 12-year-old girl died in a shooting.
Today's rash of deadly shootings comes as a group in Milwaukee tonight are remembering lives lost to gun violence. CBS 58's Michelle Fiore live at Police District 5 with more on their message. Michelle.
Just as protesters were calling for peace and marching right past this police station here, gunshots were taking the life of a man a few blocks away.
God. Dog.
Just as protesters were calling for peace and marching right past this police station here, gunshots were taking the life of a man a few blocks away. No one knows the pain of losing a loved one to gun violence like a mother losing her child.
They took her for nothing.
Gun violence killed Tiara Winston last October as she sat in a car with her best friend. 7 months later, love and hope brought family to this Memorial Day barbecue at Rose Park. Memories of better days bring a smile to Mom's face as she looks through photos of Tiara.
I'm gonna keep going until my baby gets justice.
Dozens of people came out to draw attention to Milwaukee lives taken too soon.
It's always to keep pushing for the families. A lot of families haven't seen justice when it comes to just people being killed in the streets.
I salute you, Brandon Wilborn, and all that you do. Salute to these guys, man. It's bringing awareness to people being killed the way 99.9% of black people are killed, and not the way 0.00001% of black people are killed. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but you guys been seeing the last year and a half.
It's always to keep pushing for the families. A lot of families haven't seen justice when it comes to just people being killed in the streets.
Demonstrators took to the streets by car and by foot, gaining a lot of support along the way. The day was about supporting each other. In fact, for this guy, it was about keeping activists healthy with vitamins.
I believe in, or I subscribe to Black Health Matters, because you have to have a black healthy life before you even have a black life.
Very startling moments for those protesters, too, out here as they were marching by. A few of them told us that they did hear the gunshots of that deadly shooting right over at Palmer and Chambers tonight. Reporting live at District 5, I'm Michelle Fiore, CBS 50.
As the month comes to an end, it marks the most violent that Jacksonville has seen since the start of the new year. While our News4Jax records show a 20% drop in people shot this year than last, our crime and safety expert says the community as a whole should be concerned no matter where you live.
Crime has a propensity to take on feet and walk, and it may walk to your neighborhood. So you have to be concerned about it. Get together with your community, with the community organizations, and decide once and for all, we're not going to let this happen in our community.
Crime has feet. That's the closest he can get to saying the truth. Crime has feet and it can walk through your neighborhood. What does crime look like in Jacksonville, brother? What does crime look like in Jacksonville? What kind of shoes does crime in Jacksonville have on its feet? Air Jordans? Or Vans? Polo slippers? Or Clarks?
Crime has a propensity to take on feet and walk, and it may walk to your neighborhood. So you have to be concerned about it. Get together with your community, with the community organizations, and decide once and for all, we're not going to let this happen in our community.
News4Jax reporter Brittany Moeller is live from downtown. Brittany, 11 people shot just this weekend.
Lauren, a total of 45 people shot this month and 6 were killed, according to our News4Jax records. Ken Jefferson says Jacksonville already endured the reputation of being the murder capital of the state, and he says we don't need that anymore. In one of the latest acts of violence, Jacksonville police are focusing on this mud hole on the west side off Commonwealth Avenue and Picketttville Road. Investigators say several adults arrived at the hospital with a range of injuries believed to be related to the shooting overnight. At least 15 evidence markers surrounding this black truck where investigators were picking up what looked to be shell casings. We also noticed beer cans left behind.
Well, it sounds like it was a bunch of people out partying, and it possibly got out of hand.
News4Jax crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson says police are now gathering evidence and speaking with witnesses to learn exactly what happened. According to our records, in January, 39 people were shot, 11 deadly. In February, 28 people shot, 12 fatal. In March, 24 people shot. Of those, 4 died. Then last month, 34 people shot and 9 were deadly. This month marks the most known shootings of the year, with 45 people shot and 6 deadly. In total, 175 people shot this year, 19 kids and teens. How does the department handle a caseload like this when you have no arrest and the cases keep piling up?
Yeah, first of all, you don't want to have your city have this kind of look where you have the reputation of going to Jacksonville and possibly being the victim of a gunshot.
This Memorial Day weekend alone, 6 shootings in Jacksonville, not 1 arrest, on top of a wave of mass shootings reported across the country.
They can't make any damn arrest, man. They can't make no arrest. That's crazy, man. That's just crazy how this community, like, all these people are killed, and very rarely does anyone ever get arrested. And it's not just Jack, it's like everywhere this one group is. Everywhere this particular group of people are, there's tons of murder, and the police can't get any cooperation from the people. Coast to coast, wherever this group is. So it begs the question is like, are there certain things that are innate in certain groups? Because this is coast to coast, the same behavior, different dialects, different accents, different fashion, but the same culture.
Since the pandemic, and people have been shut in and we've been isolated from a lot of things, gun sales have gone up, as well as violence as a result.
Not only during a holiday weekend like this one, but always, Jefferson's best advice is to be aware of your surroundings and be responsible. Reporting live from the South Bank, Brittany Muller, Channel 4, the local station.
Brittany, what does Jefferson say the sheriff's office needs to be doing more of?
Lauren, Jefferson says that JSO needs more community engagement rather than only the sheriff's walks. He says they need to show people that they care about the communities and the neighborhoods.
Reporting from the South Bank, thank you, Brittany.
This holiday weekend has brought to a dead stop. CMPD says they've responded to 2 homicides over the last 3 days. The first happening Saturday in East Charlotte. CMPD saying they found the body of 29-year-old Ashley Marie Marquez. Police not yet releasing her cause of death, but say 2 people have since been arrested. Then on Sunday in North Charlotte, CMPD says they discovered 21-year-old Sherilyn Drew shot to death at a home on Twin Brook Drive. These 2 homicides now bringing Charlotte's total to 45. That's compared to 35 around this time last year. So what's behind this trend? WCNC Charlotte's Ashley Daly spent the day speaking with community members to hear their thoughts.
Yeah, we stopped in Derrida today. It's a neighborhood in North Charlotte. It's ethnically diverse. It's also got a good mix of both new and old. And it's there where we caught up with community members today who all agreed there's no easy solution. 2021 is shaping up to be another deadly year for Charlotte, as CMPD says the city has already recorded 45 homicides. That's compared to 35 around this same time last year. And last year, Charlotte's deadliest year ever on record with 123 homicides.
The problem is not just Charlotte, but all over, is that the temperature is on high now.
Today, members of the community sounding off, saying they believe there are multiple reasons behind the spike in crime.
For some reason, we don't reason anymore. You know, conflict resolution are at the tip of the gun now. We really shoot and talk.
People doesn't respect anyone. You're not respected. You can be a minister, you're not respected. You can be a father, you're not respected. You can be a mother, you're not respected. You're a child, you're not respected. You're a school teacher, you're not respected. There's just no respect.
2 coons, 2 butter biscuit eaters, 2 step infections. Two sellouts. I mean, they ain't saying nothing different than the other people y'all call sellouts and Uncle Toms and coons and butter biscuit eaters.
This weekend alone, CMPD says 2 women, just 29 and 21 years old, were killed in 2 separate incidents.
I think as a city, there's some demographics in the city that we have put aside and some we support. And until we become one city, you're going to have this.
Charlotte author and podcast host Harvey Brooks, who spent years talking about relationships, says everyone has the ability to hate, but to slow crime, says people must make the choice to love.
So love is a choice, not based on what you're feeling. It's based on what is right, making the right choice.
Reporting in Charlotte, Ashley Daly, WCNC Charlotte.